Gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Mudslide Media, portion of the Quick Filler Racing League. I am your host, Mark Mudslide Hollifield. Hopefully everybody's having a good night tonight and ready for some racing action that we got going on. So tonight will be interesting because we are headed to Nashville, Tennessee for the Nashville Superspeedway for the Southern Star 186. Some of y'all may have seen Nashville on the racetracks and seen them out there going along and everything. However, as it stands, we are just not too many of us have been there personally. I am in the process of loading up the map and the track so that we can get out there, watch some of the qualifying, see how everybody's doing, and also get the live timing going. So now, with that being said, this is week 9 of the races. I believe there are 16. Oh, hold on. I got to go back and look. Somebody wrote down all the schedule in very small print, so I can't read everything, how many weeks there are, but it looks like we have a total of 15 weeks. Then the round of 12 starts, and then my stuff isn't wanting to work right. Hold on. We have the round of 12, then the round of 8, then the championship at week 22, it looks like. So, right now we're at week 9 in Nashville. With that being said, I'll tell you who the drivers are and where their points are. Right now, for the season, Gregory Smokey Robinson is our point leader at 238. Justin Smith and Larry Stubblefield are following it up in second place, tied at 235. Then we have a tie again for third and fourth place between Tyrone Yo and James Nelson. Then Jamie Mullins, Tyrone and James Nelson have 231 in the points. Then Jamie Mullins rounds out the top 5 at 226. Everybody after that is 200 or below, 218 or below. And that would be Curtis Sovereign, Kenneth Pack, Tommy Osborne, Colton Lanford, Benjamin Campbell, myself, but I'm not racing anymore. I am doing the broadcast. Jim Hubble. Let's see. Miklas Radinovics. Radinovics. James Bowden. John Anthony. Adrian Schumacher. Brian Wasserman. James Allen. Jacob Kaplan. Brandon Barrier. Brandon Barrier is new to the league, so he's basically starting at the very bottom, and unless he wins every race for the rest of the season, he's going to be kind of cutting it close on the round of 12. So, but currently the round of 12 is Gregory Robinson, Justin Smith, Larry Stubblefield, Tyrone Yo, James Nelson, Jamie Mullins, Curtis Sovereign, Kenneth Pack, Tommy Osborne, Colton Lanford, Benjamin Campbell, Jim Hubble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. I took myself out of there because I don't count since I'm not driving. However, with that being said, let me get back. If you notice in the slideshows and preps, I've went and added some pictures from the race showing you some of the stuff that we have going on. And some of it is the races where they're actually the winner has come across the start finish line. And some of it is the fun stuff after the race when individuals literally just launch themselves. So, you hear the cars are coming? Let's go and check it out. Get the live timing up and working. Let's go check on. There was an update, and last week one of the things I found out was that the update is not wanting to work too well, or I didn't have the update going at the time that the race came out. I don't know when this update came out. It basically was tracking everything that was going on wrong last week. So let's go live. Let's clear this one out. See if the session status is up and running. Refresh. I gotta, because I changed stuff around. Oh, there we go. Looks like Jim Hubble is driving the 51 Ford. I had to click refresh on there. Let me close this out. So currently, Mr. Hubble, Curtis SUV Sovereign, is out on the track. I need to update the overlays. Let's reload the texture and reload overlays. I still don't know who Slim is. They told me who he is. I don't know. Our newest driver is Brandon Barrier in the 85, hometown of Eden, North Carolina. Mr. Slim did not update his stuff as of yet. Tyrone Yo, hometown York, Pennsylvania. Justin Smith. Something's going on with Mr. Smith in the number 9. Looks like he had to reset his car. James Babyface Nelson, or Crutchfield, is out on the track. Not yet. Uh-oh. I gotta switch my cameras around. So during this time frame, this week iRacing came out with the Season 3 update for all the cars and all the tracks. Now what that means for those of you who don't follow too much with the iRacing, they went through and they upgraded the track features, how rough the track is, how slick the tracks are, the weather temperatures and stuff like that, how the weather affects the track, how the track will accept the grip, how much rubber goes down to the track and everything. So this track basically got an overhaul. Then they went into the cars and they changed how the tires are with the track. They changed excuse me, they changed how the steering is with these cars. They changed how the downforce is with the cars and everything. And since these are fixed packages, these drivers are all having to learn how to drive with a new package that is basically brand new to them. They've been racing. If they didn't do any practice after Tuesday of this week on this track, all these drivers are starting brand new with these cars, learning during this practice session how the car is going to handle on the track and everything. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting out there to see how this all plays out. It's going to be an interesting night. The track is... Tonight's race is scheduled for a 6:22 start time, which means right now these guys are getting to practice during the heat of the day and whatnot. But as the sun is going to set at 7:45, we're going to watch this track do a major overhaul. This track is not asphalt. It is a concrete track of 1.33 miles. That brings it to the race being 186 point something miles. So for 186 miles on concrete, these gentlemen are going to be watching their tires get shredded up, because concrete does not handle like asphalt. It actually tears the tires up a lot worse. And as they slide up and down the track, these tires are going to get roughed up even more. Racing slicks do not like rough surfaces at all. As we look here in turn 3, going in the front stretch here, what we see is the pits entrance is also going to be a major factor for these guys, because they have to start braking before they enter turn 3 to make it into pit road down to speed at the pit limit speed. Otherwise, they could get penalized massively for being too fast entering pit road. With this being a brand new setup tonight, our leaders, Schumacher, Stubblefield, Wasserman, you may see these guys struggle a little bit with their cars and how they act. The new guys who are brand new to iRacing, haven't been racing that long, you may see them struggle, as you definitely will see them struggle too, because their cars are going to be handling like they've never had before. So it could be beneficial for somebody. It could be that we may not see a caution-free race like we have been for the past couple of weeks. So I'm not saying, and I'm not trying to jinx any of them out there. I'm hoping they have good, clean, safe racing. But we may see some individuals out there get into other people, because driving by yourself in practice and doing everything by yourself is one thing. But getting into a pack with the downforce of these cars and other cars around you, some drivers may panic. Some drivers may not panic. They may just get driven over. So we're going to see how this works out. And every car out here has one fast repair. That one fast repair may be the difference between the winner and the loser tonight. We're going to see how each of these drivers handle it, and whether or not they're able to come in with the mindset that they can handle all these cars no matter where they go, no matter what settings they have. And if they do that, then stuff may start getting crazy out there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the race info for tonight. So currently it's 78 degrees with a 56% chance of rain. It's partly cloudy with the winds coming from the south by southeast at 2 miles per hour. The track is 1.3 miles. Current track temperature is 82 degrees. So we're looking at the Southern Star 186 tonight. Next gen, that says next cup. Let me fix that real quick. That's supposed to be the Next Gen Cup Series. Week 9 at Nashville Superspeedway. How a 1.3 mile track is considered a super speedway is kind of hard to understand, but what I can think of is turns 1 and 2 are well banked. Turn 3 going into 4 is very banked as well. A steep bank of about 30 to 35 degrees, I believe, is what the angle is. And then as you come into the tri-oval, going through the start-finish line is about a 10 to 15 degree bank. So the entire track is banked for the most part. On the backstretch, it is banked at about a 10 to 15 degrees as well, which makes it so that the guys or the drivers can be able to stay on they can stay on the throttle and not have to let up as much. It's not an Atlanta Superspeedway. It's not Charlotte's Superspeedway, but this is also a concrete track. And as I went over, concrete and these tires do not love each other. They really, really don't like each other a whole lot. So we're going to see some tire wear on these cars and everything as we look at one of the cars blow a tire right there. During the practice, seeing the tires just go out makes it very easy for these drivers to lose control. So hopefully we have a good, clean, safe race. Now, with that being said, the restart, we do not have a restart zone situated for this season. It was not activated. So when the cars are coming into the Geico restart zone, you will not see the drivers do not have to wait till they get into the Geico restart zone if they are in the lead. As soon as the pace car comes off, the drivers have to stay at the main and maintain the pace car speed until the green flag drops. With the green flag dropping, however, the restart can be controlled by the driver as we watch the 85 bump the outside. Oh, and he's dead. He's dying. Oh. That car is totaled. We watched him just fly through the air. And that was the new driver, Brandon Barrier, who just died coming out of turn 2 after he hit the outside wall, went to the inside, slid across the infield, and hit the inside wall and just totaled his car repeatedly. Again, with that happening, that just threw my entire train of thought out of whack. So this is a concrete track. As you can see, the concrete pads are 10 feet by 10, they're 10 feet wide and approximately 20 feet long. They are 5 rows deep. You can see that. That gives the avenue for these cars to have the chance to be almost 4 car lengths wide. Will we see that tonight? We don't know. That could be a very big possibility. However, if we do see that, you can very well expect to see a lot of craziness out there. Let's see. Will it show the points? Nope. No points as of yet. So we're going to show you some of these some of the lap times of the drivers as they go around, and show you how much time is left in the race. They've got 38 minutes left of practice. We're looking currently at Curtis SUV Sovereign in the number 54. I do believe I have... Let me check one setting here. Oh, I need to turn something off. Disable ice water. Graphics. Done. Alright. Now let's reload the overlay. All these cars should start popping up a little bit better graphics and whatnot. Even though I have trading paints, I just want to make sure that the right paint schemes are showing on the cars. And for those who are a Adrian Schumacher fan, the past couple of weeks, except for last week, Schumacher, I didn't have his color scheme showing because I didn't have that hide car number, and he was running a specific car number. So I'm sorry. Now Schumacher will have his car showing no matter what. So will all the other individuals who have created their own trading paints, color, or car. I promise I can talk. All the drivers who created their own trading paint schemes, we will see their car numbers as they are on the track. Let's go ahead and run through the field one quick time. Well, no, we got Mr. Tommy Osborne running a 29.85 lap time. He's got the fastest lap out there right now, folks. Followed by Jim Hubble, James Babyface Nelson Crutchfield, Justin Smith, Larry Stubblefield, Slim, Brandon Barrier, Curtis SUV Sovereign, and Tyrone Yo Jr. I gotta know who Slim is. Hang on. He's killing me. I know who it is, I think, but I want to make sure that I know the right names of all the drivers out here. We got Ben Campbell getting ready to come out. James Bowden. Jim Hubble is here. Justin Smith. Larry. I don't know who Slim is. Anyway. Let's see. Throughout the night, we'll be taking, watching the races and see how everybody's doing. Currently, we have 5 Chevrolets on the track. 4 Fords on the track. It looks like Curtis SUV Sovereign has decided to run a Ford Mustang tonight instead of his usual Toyota. And Tyrone Yo is running a Ford as well instead of his usual Toyota. I guess they finally figured out that Fords are way better than the Toyotas. And since Tyrone is also a Rusty Wallace fan, he found out that Rusty runs a Ford. He never drove a Toyota. He could have drove a Chevy, but he never drove a Toyota. Anyway, so we have a pretty good field right now, 9 drivers. We're hoping to get a couple more. We do have some that are coming in from across the pond, and so they will be here a little bit later on, and we're looking at the 82 and the number 1. The 82 looks to be running a different paint scheme. Usually he's running his wife's Night Owl. Let me make sure that his paint scheme loads properly. Because something would not be right if Larry Stubblefield is running an Exalta car instead of running his wife's Night Owl Sewing when his partner Tommy Osborne is running the Night Owl Sewing car. Let me go ahead and try and jump into the field with the guys and see how practice is going. See how they feel.
Beginning.
Gentlemen, I'm dropping in to check on yous and see how each of the drivers feel about tonight's race.
Feel good. Feel good.
Larry, are you not running your wife's paint scheme?
Yeah.
You are?
It's on my car.
Okay.
Tommy, is my car turquoise? Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, the reason I was asking is it's showing Exalta as your paint scheme.
Yeah, Control R.
I did that. I think it's something else I got to change. Hide car number. Done.
See it.
I see it coming. I tried to lock it up, but it was no good.
So
is Kenneth out here yet?
No, Kenneth is not here yet. So
yeah, my car's showing up as the right car.
Okay, I'm going to jump to your car in just a second when you get back out on the track. But yeah, I was showing the Exalta for some reason.
Yeah, that's the stock iRacing paint that I used to run.
Okay. So
it should be up something different now.
Alexa, shut up.
So live on YouTube.
Yeah, and YouTube, Facebook, and also Twitch. By the way, anybody have any issues with this track since it is a concrete track?
Just on entry, exit on both ends.
Is it?
Other than that, it's fine.
Has anybody checked their tire wear to see how much damage the concrete is doing to your tires?
Tearing up the right front pretty good.
It's going to eat it. What is the right front? How many laps do you think we just ran, Tommy? 10?
Probably mine's down to 89%.
91 on the front.
It's close to a percentage a lap if you're pushing it.
So,
yeah, it eats them.
Well, I know that Jim was running a pretty good race there, or was running pretty quick earlier, and then Tommy came in and knocked him off, and so Jim had to come back and knocked Tommy off by a .01 second.
I think the track's cooling off.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, track's cooling off.
So,
Yeah.
for the drivers out there, do y'all know what time the sun is going to be setting for yins?
Looks like
Right
right
on
on
time
time
to
to start the
blind us.
race.
The race is supposed to start at 6:22 p.m. and the sun is supposed to set at 7:45 p.m. How much of a factor do you think that's going to be for each of y'all?
It'll be below the wall in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's bad right now. We still got 30 minutes.
okay.
I think it'll just make the cars tighter and tighter.
Is the wind being any factor on the backstretch for yins?
We don't even know which way it's blowing.
Southeast at 2 miles per hour.
No.
Okay, so it's not bothering y'all at all then.
2 miles an hour, you're going to eat it at a 4 if 2 mile an hour screwed you up, it's over already.
Okay. Well, I did see a car earlier. I'm not sure who it was. I think it was Slim coming out of 3 and 4. Looked like he blew a tire and went to the infield. Was that what happened?
No, I just locked it up.
Okay. And then I seen Brandon Barrier basically get murdered on the backstretch.
Yes,
wasn't me.
sir. I definitely smacked the outside wall, and by the time I locked it up going inside, it was too late. You just had to hold on.
Yeah. So drifting up the track coming out of 2 and out of 4, is that going to be a big problem tonight?
Yes.
After the tires wear off, it's definitely going to be a problem.
Looks like it's a big problem right
It's
now.
going to be
No-
the problem.
no,
Everything
what-
else is going to be fine.
What happened right there was
Sorry about
Curtis
that.
couldn't slow down, and he knocked one into the other, and it was just a domino effect on that one. He didn't slow down in time.
It's because Curtis can't handle the power of the Mustang.
I see this. So Tyrone and Curtis, y'all have been in the past running Toyotas, but tonight I noticed y'all are both running Fords. Any particular reason y'all switched from Toyota?
No, I just wanted to run something different this week.
That'll make the sponsors happy.
Well, it looks like y'all are. I figured with the new update from iRacing on the tracks and on the cars that it might give some of y'all a little bit more handling issue. Is that what's going on here?
Feels better to me.
Yeah,
More
Feels
predictable.
better.
Take
Easy
a
to
lot better
catch.
than Phoenix.
A lot better than
Yeah.
Phoenix.
They know had ice rink in the middle of the damn desert.
I'm running faster times than I ever ran here, so
So it's
think
actually
it's better.
helping y'all.
Probably more realistic instead of 0 and 1 guessing.
Okay. Are we going to see any 3 wide or 4 wide since this is a 5 wide track?
Probably.
But you don't want to.
Question is, will you see it be successful?
I see somebody
I'm
going
staying in the
sideways.
gas.
Somebody's going through the infield like crazy.
Ben come out of 4 and seen a cardboard box and it scared him.
All right. Is that what that was? That Ben that was going through the infield?
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why I don't take them Mustangs to Lamar. So.
He's like, "Oh." So we'll have a pretty good showing tonight then, it looks like.
So,
Do you think Schumacher or Wasserman are going to be able to make it tonight?
And I hope not.
You hope not. So
Colton should be here, right?
I've not heard any reason he couldn't be. So
Yeah, there's a few more probably show up.
yeah, right now we have a 10 of field, a 10 of field, a field of 10. Make that 11 because
there's
there's
Wasserman.
Wasserman. So Are y'all aware of the points standings right now?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm too far back to even worry about it.
I'm dead last.
Yes, I.
Well, there's a surprise for second and for fourth. Second is actually tied between Larry Stubblefield. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I want to make sure I get this right.
Yeah, Smokey, I think.
Yeah, no, Smokey is leading by 3 points.
Okay.
Justin Smith and Larry are tied at 235. Then Tyrone and James Nelson are tied at 231. And then Jamie Mullins, who's not here tonight, it doesn't look like, is in 5th place, followed by Curtis Sovereign, Kenneth Pack, Tommy Osborne, Colton Lanford, Benjamin Campbell, I'm not going to Jim Hubble, Miklas Radanovics.
Rada. Just say their last name.
Rada. James Bowden. Is James Bowden Slim?
Yes.
That would be me.
Okay. I'm like, who
The
the
only
fuck
other
is
James.
Slim?
We can't have 2 Jameses flying around. It sucks.
Okay. Then John Anthony, Adrian Schumacher, Brian Wasserman, James Allen, Jacob Kaplan, and Brandon Barrier. So,
Brandon will make a significant jump tonight.
well, Brandon is at 0 right now, and the person he's going to jump will be probably the bottom. We got 21 registered, so he'll probably jump up in the 15.
You give him 3 weeks, he'll be up in at least at the tail end of the regulars.
Yeah. So, I noticed that the top. Right now, we're on week 9, and at what looks like week 15, we'll start the round of 12.
Oh boy.
Oh, there goes Ben. Reckon that's Shelby again.
Not get that thing to rotate at all coming out of 4.
You change the steering ratio?
I did.
Check up earlier than you think. Hit the apex around 3/4 of a turn.
I mean, I don't know if I went the right direction. I put it at 2.64.
208, that's where you're going to want it. Just for drivability.
And I had the brake bias knocked down to 48.1.
That might be too high or too low.
Well, gentlemen, we got about 21 minutes left of practice. Has anybody seen any significant problems or concerns besides drifting up the track and coming out of 2 and 4?
Nah, just some announcer dude keeps asking us questions.
I'm saying my first name like a psychopath.
I'm not a full-fledged psychopath. I did stay underneath the score.
You know you're a psychopath if you put the O in there that big like that.
No.
That's in the wall. Ooh.
I stay just below the psychopath score. It's by usually 0.5 and 0.1, but it.
On Facebook, are you a psychopath test?
No. The actual one that they have to do every year. So I'm messing. I'm not that bad.
You're good, buddy.
I know. So it looks like we do have 11. Adrian will probably come in at the last couple of minutes, won't he?
I hope
think he
not.
does
Oh,
that
hold
just
it,
to break our
Curtis. Hold it.
spirit.
Hold it. Cutting the grass. Curtis is cutting us a field through the infield. So, will this be like the other races, pretty much caution free until the break at lap 70?
It probably will be caution free for the majority, but it's not going to be crash free. It's just not going to cause a caution when you bury it into the firewall deep in turn 1 and bounce it around. You probably drive it around for a little while. Spinning ain't going to be the problem, I don't think. It's going to be contact.
Has anybody who has hit the wall or rubbed the wall, have y'all went and checked to see how much the damage is done to your vehicles before getting a replacement during the practices?
About 25 to 30 seconds.
Well, Justin Smith will be able to tell me in just a second.
Way to call him out.
Well, no, he was straight up on the screen, and I watched him on the screen. That red car just slapped the wall in 4. Coming out of 4, he hit it like 3 or 4 times playing patty cake with the right front end. So,
I finally got past Larry.
well, that's good.
He went in the pits.
Oh. Well, right now, Larry's running with the best time at 29.7. So,
Did you get under 30?
you're at 29.85.
Well, that was my fastest lap ever.
Yeah, that's you are the 3rd fastest car. Jim Hubble is at 29.84 as being the fastest, and James Nelson is at 29.89. So you beat him by 0.4 thousandths of a second.
I practiced like for, I don't know, 3 nights in a row.
Oh no, not thousandths, tenths of a second.
And could never get under 30.
Yeah.
So tonight is the
It's
first.
too hot, probably.
Probably so.
Hey, Mark there, buddy?
Yeah, it's a hundredth of a second that he beat you.
Thank you.
I know.
He said that. He fixed himself.
I fixed it. I gave you too much, then I took away too much, then I went and fixed it to the right. So,
You were just sighting it in, that's all.
yeah. It took
Close
me...
that for an airstrike.
Yep.
I'm in a dangerous spot right here.
Following
Ben.
Yeah. Tyrone's in the worst spot because he's right behind him. As I say that, Tyrone brakes and backs up. So. And there goes Slim through the infield.
Yeah, that was a fun ride.
So, if y'all start to lose it, is it harder or easier to recover?
Once it goes past 30% gone, it's gone. But in that 30%, you can catch it. That's how I'm getting out of 4. You need to use the rears up if you get an opportunity, because it's going to want to start pushing.
And the pit strategy for tonight, since y'all are using 65% fuel?
How long is the race?
It's 140 laps, which is 186 miles.
440, so 70 laps halfway point. So this splits the stage is all it's going to be.
Okay.
Split the halfway point and then split the last half. Wouldn't be very much different unless we don't have that many tires.
Yeah. 5 sets of tires.
5 sets, we're fine. That's what will happen.
So everybody will
caution, everybody will be screwed.
So basically, you're looking at roughly 35 to 40 laps on a set of tires?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's caution, screw it up.
Well, we will see.
Be right back, guys.
If you're 20 laps in, you're going to want tires.
Jeez, I couldn't stop.
I moved.
Scared me. I was like, well, we're crashing.
Oop.
Oh, we're working.
Kenneth here.
Finally.
So how did you have that one guy say you fixed trading paints?
You have to uninstall it and reinstall it.
Yeah. That was, I had that problem too.
It only
So
takes a minute or two.
I did too.
Even when I did that, I still had to do it again, so it might not work the first time.
yep.
If you're trying to paint a car with trading paints, it looks ghetto no matter what.
Yep.
I should have learned to use GIMP so long ago. I was driving some ugly paint schemes.
Speaking of which, are we doing a paint scheme type deal where I remember that was thrown out there at the beginning of the season about having the best paint job or something like that?
It's for next week.
Is that the All-Star break?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get with you about it so you can put it out.
Okay.
I didn't think you were pitting. I was coming to mess with you.
Not right now.
Oh.
Yeah, in case y'all can't tell, Curtis has got COVID, and so
Yeah, just tell his medical information all over the internet.
Well,
Hey,
no. I'm
Tell everybody everything.
what I'm
Heard of HIPAA?
what I'm trying to say is Curtis may have a disadvantage because he's sick. He doesn't feel good. So
He's top 5 on speed.
yeah.
You gonna blab about him being trans after this too?
Yeah.
Now that is all y'all have
Can't
to
make
do
fun
is
of me about that.
yeah. You can't. Well,
It's citrus now, not Curtis.
it's citrus. Oh my God!
Sorry.
Ow.
I think every driver just wrecked now from that one. Every last one was laughing their ass off about that one.
Oh, that was good.
So, are you staying with the black hair or and being a brunette, or do we have to go with the blonde for you there, Citrus?
Citrus.
Oh, there is so a new nickname going up on the board. Hello. Wow, Brandon, that was impressive.
That sucks.
You had help with that one, Brandon. You had.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, he didn't.
Justin had help.
Yeah, Justin had help with that death.
Yeah.
Anybody else shifting too early on the backstretch? Like, for some reason, my hand, I cannot stop shifting early. It's not red or nothing. I just want to shift it so bad, I guess.
Use it marks all the backstretch.
All right. I'll get out of here and let y'all gentlemen have your fun. But hopefully y'all have a good
Oh, wait a minute.
clean...
That's not the appropriate term, is it?
What, to let...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Them days. You gotta...
I'm letting you gentlemen and, well, okay, here we go. I'm going to let y'all go ahead, get out of here, and leave yuns alone so that you'll be able to run a good, clean, and safe race, I hope, tonight.
All right. Be respectful. Don't misgender her.
I won't. Oh, we are having a lot of fun with this one tonight. I need to check something real quick. Let's see. gets one or two things fixed right here and make it a little bit better looking. And I noticed we had a few things going different. So I'm going to copy this. And I just had it. There we go. Control V. Uh-oh. Let's see if that works. I hope it did, but we'll find out here shortly. All right. I guess it. Oop. That's not what I wanted to see. That is not what I wanted to see at all. All right, so we just watched that car go off the screen. There we go. It's not perfect, but it is better looking. I'm trying to get rid of the SDK, but I can't do that, so we'll go ahead and do something else real quick. Take a look at some of the others. And I'm trying to figure out how to write. I'll have to do some program writing, but right now is not the time to do that. Instead, what we'll do is we're rounding out the last few minutes. We're under 5 minutes on the race, or in practice before the race starts and everything. So we're getting ready for the Southern Star 186. The reason it's 186 is because we're doing 140 laps tonight at a 1.33 mile track. That's 186.2 something miles. So we rounded it down to 186. We have a fine field of 12 drivers currently, possibly 13 drivers coming in tonight. Everybody out here is going under the new iRacing update, which just came out for Season 3 this past Tuesday. The Season 3 starts next Tuesday, and all of iRacing will start brand new. We'll see drivers move up a class, and some drivers may drop a class, depending on where they're standing at the beginning of midnight Tuesday, or midnight on Tuesday, or not Tuesday, but Monday night at midnight. And that will be at the UTC time, which is 8 p.m. East Coast time. So 5 p.m. Pacific time. Again, the sun is setting and the race will start here in 3 minutes. We'll see qualifying. The sun has already set. The track temperature has fallen. Let's go ahead and take a look. See what the temperature is as we take a look at everything on the track. So currently the temperature is 81 degrees. 81 degrees on the track at the track temperature at this 1.33 mile track. The chance of rain is 57 degrees. The actual temperature is 77 degrees outside. It is partly cloudy with a 2 mile an hour wind from the southeast. We heard the driver say that it's not going to be too big of a problem with the wind out there. But the track temperature with the cooling down and the tires, it is going to affect the grip of the tires. So we may not have a very caution-free night tonight, because we do have some new drivers who have just begun racing, and this is their first league that they are racing in. We also have some experienced drivers out there who have been doing it for years. I think the longest is 8 years. No, the longest is 15 years. I'm not sure if they're racing tonight or not, but I believe Jamie Mullins has been racing for almost 15 years. I know Tommy Osborne and Kenneth Pack said that they've been racing at least 10 years. So we do have some very experienced drivers out there, and we also have some very unexperienced drivers out there as well. I myself am considered still in the rookie class because I've only been racing for about 3 years. Curtis Sovereign has been racing for about a year. Brandon Barrier may be in racing for 2-3 years. I'm not sure. James Nelson, I think, has been racing for about 2 years. So as the seconds are coming down, you see some of the shenanigans going on with these drivers out on the field. Let's go ahead and run through the drivers lineup and show you everybody, starting with Larry Stubblefield. Larry Stubblefield will be driving the 82 Chevrolet with the Night Owl Sewing, which is sponsored by his wife. Then we have Jim Hubble. He's driving the 51 Ford out of Wildomar, California. Next we have James Babyface Nelson driving the 75 Crutchfield. Tommy Osborne driving the number 1 Chevrolet Night Owl Sewing. It's black and blue, where Larry Stubblefield is white and blue, or turquoise, whatever color that is. Justin Smith will be driving the number 9 Chevrolet. Slim is Jim Bowden. He'll be driving the number 53 Ford. And of course, Brandon Barrier will be driving the 85 Chevrolet out of Eden, North Carolina. Let's hide. Oop, wrong one. Hide the car for a second so that folks can see them. Let's go ahead and see who's out on the track during the qualifying. Each driver will have 2 laps to complete the race, or complete for qualifying. And of course, my stuff goes to craziness. We have Tyrone Yo Jr. driving the number 2 Ford tonight. Let's see. I'll go ahead and hide all this information. You'll see all the information as they go around. Brandon Barrier is out on the track. He has run the fastest time so far at 30.35. Now Brian Wasserman is out on the track. Brian Wasserman ran a 30.17. You're watching James Nelson as he puts down his lap of 30.10. Larry Stubblefield is out on the track, put down a 30.07. Brian Wasserman just completed a 29.81. So Brian Wasserman is currently in the number 17 Chevrolet. We're watching Justin Smith make his first lap. Each driver has 1 warm-up lap to go from the pit all the way around to the start-finish line. If they do not make it before they get to the start-finish line, they hit the wall, they can reset and be able to go again and try again. Once they cross that start-finish line, though, that starts their first lap of qualification. If they hit the wall, run out below the yellow line, and go through the infield, or have any damage, lose control, whatever, that will affect their time, and that can cost them their time and put them at the bottom of the grid. Brian Wasserman and Larry Stubblefield and James Nelson are holding the top positions. As I say that, Kenneth Peck goes and puts in a 29.82. So 0.01 thousandths of a second is what is splitting first and second place right now. Can Kenneth Peck put down another fast time, or is that his last? It looks like that locks him in. Oh, Justin Smith just killed his car going into the pits. We're still waiting on 3 individuals: Ben Campbell, Slim, James Bowden, and Curtis SUV Sovereign to run the around the track and get their times in. These gentlemen may or may not be doing theirs. Jim Hubble just finished his as he's cruising down. I don't know if any of these drivers started practicing. Something's wrong with Jim Hubble. He might be taking it slow on his final lap to get around the track. Let's go ahead and take a look at the grid as of the moment. See how that looks. All the racers have readied up, so it looks like Brian Wasserman will be the the pole winner. He'll be starting on the inside. Kenneth Peck will be second on the outside. Larry Stubblefield inside. Justin Smith will be on the inside. James Nelson will be in 5th position inside. Jim Hubble in 6th position on the outside. Brandon Barrier, 7th position inside. Tommy Osborne, 8th position outside. Tyrone Yo will be in 9th position inside. Slim James Bowden will be on the outside in 10th. Curtis SUV Sovereign will be in 11th. And rounding out the field will be Ben Campbell. As the pace car comes out and leads the cars around the track, we will sit and watch the drivers come out onto the track and get ready for tonight's Southern Star 186. I'm going to turn the volume down just a little bit because it sounds like they are killing it in my ears. All right. You see each of the drivers are lined up and trying to warm up their tires as they come around. We have the number 17 Dorito. Oh, that's the Seckies. That's not Doritos. That's the... Yeah. Wasserman is leading them as they come through. The first lap, or the first flag drop, will be on iRacing. From this point on, all restarts will be on the leader. We have them going, and it looks like there was a misshift in Tommy Osborne's car as he slowly lost position there. The drivers are going into turns 1 and 2. Looks like we're having a pretty good battle for that second position as Kenneth Pack moves up to catch up to Brian Wasserman. Justin Smith is pushed to the outside going into 3. Coming through the tri-oval, everybody's starting to fall in line just as we go through. It looks like Ben Campbell has moved past Tommy Osborne for position 10, and Curtis Sovereign is taking over position 8 from Tyrone Yo. Ben Campbell has moved up to position 9, taking over position 9 from Tyrone Yo. Some of these drivers are slowly moving backwards and some are moving forward. We're trying to watch as they get and fill it out for each other. Tyrone Yo is down to position 11 now. Or actually position 12. You see the drivers as they line up, coming out and going across the start-finish line. There is a little bit of space between one group and another group of 4 or 5 cars. Some of these drivers are trying to save it because we heard sorry, I had the volume up a little bit too much there, and the cars passing the camera just overrode everything I was saying. We're on lap 5 now of the 140 laps for tonight's race. We're watching Justin Smith as he's moving through the field. Tommy Osborne has passed Tyrone Yo for position 11. The drivers have seemed to worked it out, and they are... Hello? I heard somebody in the background there for just a second. If you are joining... Hold on. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to Mudslide Media. I'm your host, Mark Mudslide Hollifield, affiliate of the Quick Finishers Racing League. This is week number 9 of the Quick Finishers Racing League. We're in Nashville, Tennessee at the Southern Star 186 for 140 laps tonight. We're on lap number 8 of this 12-car field. We're watching as Larry Stubblefield has taken the lead from Brian Wasserman and has moved up past Kenneth Pack. Our top 5 currently right now is Larry Stubblefield, Brian Wasserman, Kenneth Pack, and James Nelson. The top 10 is followed by Brandon Barrier, Jim Hubble, Curtis SUV Sovereign, Benny Campbell, and Slim James Bowden, followed by Tommy Osborne and Tyrone Yo. We're watching as these cars are moving up the field. You see Brandon Barrier get a little push from Curtis Sovereign. Curtis is driving under the weather tonight, so he's here just so he doesn't get fined. We're running around the track. All these cars are having a good time. They're having to deal, though, with the update that came out Tuesday of this week. These cars do not handle like they normally do, and the track has different conditions than it did in Season 2. Curtis Sovereign is slowly moving up the track and backwards through the field as he's now in 9th position. Ben Campbell got up underneath him and was able to take over 8th place. The biggest mover and shaker of the night is Ben Campbell as he's moving forward 4 positions from 12th to 8th place. We're looking at that Shelby Cobra paint scheme of the 27. Now you're looking at James Bowden as he moves around Curtis Sovereign. Curtis is struggling as he is slowly moving backwards. He was a mover and shaker going into the race, but he's only moved up 1 position. Tommy Osborne has moved backwards 3 positions along with Tyrone Yo. Tyrone has moved 3 positions backwards also to be in dead last. We're watching Slim as he moves up next to Ben Campbell, and they're fighting it out for 8th place, but Slim slowly gives it up and let Ben Campbell stay in the lead on the outside. Tyrone Yo is in last place. He's being very conservative with his tires, it looks like, because they are driving on asphalt. Now we're losing Ben Campbell due to connection issues. That could cost Ben a very, very big point lead. It is making the other drivers around him a little bit more hesitant as he is cutting in and out. So Tommy Osborne saw Campbell disappear and decided he was going to back out and not try to get too close to him. We're on lap number 15 of 140. We're at the halfway point before we see tire wear start kicking in and these drivers start having issues. Lap 70 will be the mandatory caution. However, depending on how these drivers handle the between now and 70, hopefully we will not have any cautions, but cautions may come out tonight. We do have some new drivers with us in the league, and we also have some very experienced drivers in the league with us as well. Larry Stubblefield, Brian Wasserman, Kenneth Pack, James Babyface Nelson Crutchfield, and Jim Hubble are your top 5 drivers. Justin Smith, Brandon Barrier, Slim, Benny Campbell, and Tommy Osborne round out your top 10. Curtis SUV Sovereign and Tyrone Yo round out the top 12. Slim has passed Brandon Barrier for position 7. Brandon Barrier is trying to stay up with Slim and follow him around the track. We see him 3 wide as Curtis SUV Sovereign passes Ben Campbell for position 9 and Tommy Osborne. Curtis SUV Sovereign said, screw it, I may not feel well, but I'm getting back into this race. To hell with it all, I will race the best I can around this track. We're on lap number 18, now 19 of 140 laps. You see Ben Campbell hit that outside wall coming out of 4. You know that did some damage to his car. How much damage, though, we will not know until he goes into the pits to get new tires. So hopefully he's able to maintain control of that car. It didn't knock anything out of whack with his front steering as it came off of the wall coming out of 4. We're watching the cars as they go flying across this start-finish line. You see Tyrone Yo all the way back there in 12th place coming around. Curtis SUV Sovereign is on the move as he's trying to catch up to Brandon Barrier and put him behind him. James Nelson is on the move, but Jim Hubble is right behind him and trying to catch up to him as Nelson is trying to catch up to Kenneth Pack going into the backstretch. They're slowly slipping and sliding. You watch them as they enter into the corner of turn 3. It looks like Crutchfield is being a little bit more cautious on this asphalt, or correction, concrete, than he would be if it was asphalt. Brandon Barrier is trying to catch up to Curtis Sovereign because Curtis has overtaken Brandon and made him now the 9th place driver. Tommy Osborne overtook Ben Campbell, and now he's making his way forward to take over, try and catch Brandon Barrier coming in the 4. Brandon is slowly moving around the track a little bit slower, but he may be trying to conserve some tires. However, he overdrove it going into turn 1 and 2. Tommy Osborne's on the inside. Let's see how they do coming out of the turn. Tommy Osborne is able to shoot up in front of Brandon Barrier halfway through the backstretch. Going into turns 3 and 4, Brandon Barrier is sliding in the middle of the track. Ben Campbell hits the outside wall one more time, giving it a love tap. It sounds like he did disconnect just a little bit, so that connection issue may be why he's tapping that outside wall. Brandon Barrier is moving backwards through the field, though. We're watching Tommy Osborne as he's trying to catch Curtis SUV Sovereign in turn 3 and 4. Going into the front stretch, he's closing that gap between Curtis and himself. The gap is 0.65 seconds. Tommy Osborne is coming out of 2. He drifts up the track using the wall to help him get the draft and be able to catch up to Curtis SUV Sovereign. We're now watching Larry Stubblefield as he's entering turns 1 and 2. He's got Brian Wasserman right behind him, just a maybe 2 car lengths back, and he's staying just off of his quarter panel, 1 lane down as they go into turns 3. It looks like Wasserman is looking for the low side where the traction may be to try and catch up to Larry Stubblefield. Larry is staying ahead. Kenneth Pack is trying to close that distance between the two, but Kenneth Pack is 4 car lengths back, where Crutchfield or James Nelson is 5 car lengths back behind Kenneth Pack. Wasserman is trying to move to the inside behind Larry Stubblefield. We're coming up on lap 28 now. You watching as Wasserman moves to the inside of the track. He is trying to save his tires by going to the outside, entering turns 1 and 3 and diving to the inside of the turn 1 and 2. He enters turn 1 high, goes low in the middle of 1 and 2, and comes out high. Going into the front stretch, we watch as Larry Stubblefield watches what's going on. Kenneth Pack has closed the gap and is now less than a car length back, pushing Brian Wasserman. I'm saying Barry, but Brian Wasserman got pushed right up next to Larry Stubblefield. Kenneth Pack has closed the distance. They are side by side coming across the front stretch. It is Larry Stubblefield who is just a quarter panel ahead of Brian Wasserman. They are side by side going into turns 1 and 2. Brian Wasserman is just outside of the door of Larry Stubblefield. Kenneth Pack is splitting the two and pushing both of them into turns 3. That pushed Brian Wasserman past Larry Stubblefield. Now Kenneth Pack is splitting the point. It looked like Kenneth Pack was going to shoot the middle, but he does not. Larry Stubblefield stays ahead just barely. He is ahead by... He is now behind. They are fighting it out in the backstretch between Larry Stubblefield and Brian Wasserman. These two are going back and forth, bumper to bumper is all the distance that there is between these two fighting for that lead. Crossing the start-finish line, it was Stubblefield by a hair. Kenneth Pack is right there. He's shooting back and forth between the leaders, giving them both a push around. Brian Wasserman is trying to push Stubblefield up against the fence. Then he shoots down low. Stubblefield's able to take that high line and take the lead back, but Wasserman comes low. As they cross the start-finish line, Stubblefield says, screw it, I'm out. I'm not going to let you draft off of me like that anymore. And he shoots to the inside. He's got Kenneth Pack pushing. Wasserman shoots high on the track. Now it is Kenneth Pack in second place with Wasserman on the inside. Woo, we got a good lead. The battle is between Wasserman and Pack now. Kenneth Pack lost a little bit of momentum there as he fishtailed coming out of 4. Now Wasserman is in third place. Kenneth Pack is in second place. Larry Stubblefield is in first place. And he's on the gas to get away from these as we're at lap 34. We're going to start watching as these gentlemen start trying to figure out when they're going to pit to be able to change out the tires. They have 5 sets of tires, so the change out should be at lap 35 and lap 70, lap 105, and then finish the race at a lap 140. We're going to see how the strategy plays out for these gentlemen, because the tire wear on this asphalt or concrete track is going to come into play right now. You see the gentlemen start slowing down just a little bit. We're watching them as they come around the track. Jim Hubble is now past for position 4. He has taken over position 4 from Slim. Our first ones in to the pit is Larry Stubblefield, Brian Wasserman, James Nelson, Brandon Barrier, and Tyrone Yo. They are all in the pit. Let's go to the pit cam and see who comes off a pit first. Will it be Brandon? Everybody is starting to pit now. We're going to see who does all four. Larry Stubblefield's first one out. Brian Wasserman's next one out. James Babyface Nelson's out third. Kenneth Peck is on his way out of the pits. Who's next out of the pit? The number 2 of Tyrone Yo is out of the pit. Let's go back to the excitement. So Slim is entering the pit. Tommy Osborne's entering the pit. Curtis SUV Sovereign is entering the pit. Larry Stubblefield is coming around. Kenneth Peck might have gotten a speeding penalty because he looks to be slowing down. Nope, he did not get a speeding penalty. Brian Wasserman just passed him like he was standing still, trying to catch up to Larry Stubblefield and close that gap. James Nelson is in 4th place and Slim is in 5th place. We're watching Brian Wasserman and Kenneth Peck as they come shooting down the track, trying to catch up to Larry Stubblefield. Slim is coming around the track. He has in front of him Justin Smith. We're watching Kenneth Peck try and catch up to to Brian Wasserman. Let's see what the battle box has to say about these drivers. If I can figure out or remember where I put the battle box. Oops, wrong one. I'm learning some of these controls, folks. Sorry if it takes me a second to show this. So, there's the battle box. Right now, the fight is between Tyrone Yo and Ben. You're watching in that bottom right-hand corner. The battle for third is with Kenneth Peck and James Nelson, along with Brian Wasserman. We're watching Slim, James Bowden, James Bowden, and Justin Smith and Tommy Osborne battle it out. Not too much of a battle there. Larry Stubblefield is still running, and he's just put Ben Campbell down a lap. He is moving up the field as fast as he can. He's got his sights set on Tyrone Yo to put him down a lap as well. Larry Stubblefield is moving through this field like lightning, folks. He's moving up the track as fast as possible, and he's putting the lap cars, or trying to put some lap cars between him and Brian Wasserman. Brian Wasserman is trying his best to catch up to Larry Stubblefield, but because of a bad pit exit strategy, he was not able to close the gap. There is currently a 2.87 second gap between Larry Stubblefield and Brian Wasserman, which means there is about a 25 car gap between the two. Brian Wasserman and Kenneth Pack, though, are trying to work together and get their butts up there to Larry Stubblefield. Larry Stubblefield has his eyes set on another target of Tyrone Yo, and he's trying to put him down a lap so that he can have two cars between him and Brian Wasserman and Kenneth Pack. That is a strategy that has worked in the past for Larry Stubblefield, using lap traffic to slow down his opponents behind him. There goes Yo. Tyrone Yo is now down a lap. Now the next person is Curtis SUV Sovereign, who is being... Ben Campbell hit that wall, and now he's riding high as Tyrone Yo was following behind Ben Campbell, but he did not follow Ben Campbell into the wall. Ben Campbell maintained control and has control of the car, so no caution is being thrown as they come around the track. How much damage is done to Ben's car, do not know right now, but Ben Campbell has been a pinball tonight, coming out of 4. We're watching as Larry Stubblefield is trying his best to catch up to Curtis SUV Sovereign. It looks like Ben Campbell is in the pits. He is going to the pits because he suffered major damage to that vehicle. He may have to do a fast repair, or he may have to wait, and we will see. As we look at the battle for first, it's 176 miles an hour for Brendan Barrier, but the fastest person on the track right now is Larry Stubblefield at 182 miles an hour. Our biggest gain for the night has now been between Larry Stubblefield and Curtis SUV Sovereign. However, our biggest loss of the night belongs to Jim Hubble, as he has lost 5 positions. We're watching a good race tonight. It looks like Ben Campbell is back out on the track. He must have used his fast repair, which means if he has any more damage for the night, he will have to sit in the pit while that damage is being finished. Brian Wasserman and Kenneth Pack are still trying to catch up to the leader, who has a 3.19 second lead over Brian Wasserman. Larry Stubblefield is just running away at this concrete track. He is making the rest of the field look like they are sitting still as he pulls away from everybody else. Larry Stubblefield is making it look like Adrian Schumacher is out here tonight racing the rest of the field. Adrian, wherever you are, we hope you are having a safe evening and being safe where you are. But Larry Stubblefield is basically just running away from the rest of the field tonight as we hit lap 54 of the 140. At lap 70, we will have an intermission. The competition caution will come out. We will re-rack the entire field. all the drivers will come in. Tyrone Yo, Jim Hubble, and Ben Campbell are now laps down. Ben Campbell is in the pits. I do not know if he's out of the race or if he's just going in because he's having internet connection problems. Nope, he is still in the race, so he is in the pits. He is coming out of the pits at this time. Larry Stubblefield is just running away from the rest of the field. Let's see where the rest of it is. We're now watching James Bowden and Jim Hubble, or Justin Smith fight it out for position number 6. Tommy Osborne is trying his best to catch up to both of them and make it a 3-way battle for position 6. Slim is taking over, and he is our biggest mover of the night, moving up 5 positions from 10th position to 5th position. Justin Smith has moved backwards 2 positions to 6th place from 4th place. Tommy Osborne is doing his best to move up from position 8 to position 7. He is in position 7. He wants to move up further in the field. As we're entering lap number 58 of 140, let's go trackside to the scenic and crank the volume up for a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry that I missed that caution, but we will go back real quick and take a look at what happened. It looks like we had the yellow flag flown because Ben Campbell went off the track. Let's take a look and see what happened here. I'm sorry, yep, we had Justin Smith get into this back end of Slim and turn him to the inside walls. That's what brought out the caution. That was not an intention. It looks like it wasn't intentional, but we will double check. That will be a lap review. I do not believe it was intentional though. But let's take a look from Slim's angle and see exactly what happened as he was coming into the trioval. Did he slide up and just get in front? Yeah, he slid a little bit too high into the trioval. So, now we're going to watch and see as these guys get their tires and everything. With it being at lap 66, this could be this will be the caution for the intermission. So we're re-racking the field and getting everybody back out on the track as needed. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to go use the bathroom. And so I put on caution. Of course, the caution would come out while I was doing my business. Taking care of myself out here. So the field is re-racked. It is Larry Stubblefield with Kenneth Pack in second place, Brian Wasserman in third, Justin Smith in fourth place, Tommy Osborne up to fifth place, Brandon Barrier will be in sixth place, Curtis SUV Sovereign will be in seventh place, James Nelson in eighth place, Tyrone Yo in ninth place, and Slim is in 10th place. Jim Hubble and Ben Campbell are down at one lap. So Tyrone Yo was able to get his lap back. Ben Campbell has lost connection for the race. It looks like Ben Campbell has lost internet connection and is out of the race for the night. We just watched Kenneth Pack flash out of the screen. There he comes back in. Kenneth looks like he's having internet issues as well tonight. So those internet connection issues will be a factor. It does look like. The lights are off on the pace car, so as they come through and come by the start-finish line, as they come by the pit stop area, we will watch the pace car come off the track. The restart will be on Larry Stubblefield going into the Geico restart zone. Let's listen and see how Kenneth and the rest of the field stack up as they come through the restart area. A real good start. Wasserman drops to the inside. Pack is right in front of Wasserman, shutting the door on him. Justin Smith had the door shut on him. Brandon Barrier is on the outside. Tommy Osborne to the inside. Coming out, they are side by side. Tommy Osborne. Oh, Brandon Barrier gets sideways. He loses it. He hits that wall. We're still green flag though. Brandon was able to keep the wall or keep up against the wall. All the other drivers were able to move around him. Tommy Osborne's moving to the inside underneath Justin Smith, taking over 4th place. Justin's trying to use the hill to come down. Tommy is still in the lead coming across the start-finish line. Justin Smith moves to the lead now on the outside. He's riding the wall. He got a little bit too much of the wall coming out of 2. Tommy Osborne's able to move to the inside. Why the yellow flag was thrown. Let's go see what brought out the yellow flag. No car is off the track. Why is the yellow thrown on this one? I'm wondering if it was something to do with Brandon Barrier. They threw the yellow... Don't tell me they threw the yellow flag because of the 70. They did. They threw the yellow for the 70 lap caution. So now all the drivers are coming in to get fresh tires and everything and re-rack the field. Let's go to the pit lane and see who will be first off of the pits and first into their stalls. As you watch them come down pit lane, will there be any mistakes out there? There goes around Jim Hubble to get back his lap. Brian Wasserman is in. Slim is still out. He did not pit this time. James Nelson is in 2nd place. Larry Stubblefield comes out. He's in 3rd. Kenneth Peck is in 4th place. Justin Smith is in 5th. Tommy Osborne 6th. Brandon Barrier 7th. Tyrone Yo 8th. Curtis SUV Sovereign is in 9th. Brian Wasserman is still on pit road. Jim Hubble is in the pits, entering the pit now. Here comes Brian Wasserman. That puts him in 10th place, and Jim Hubble is in 11th place, with Ben Campbell being out of the race. Let's go check on the leaders. Slim is now going into the pit. So for just a minute, Slim was your pit leader, or was the race leader. But now the race leader is James Babyface Nelson driving the Crutchfield 75. Larry Stubblefield is right behind him in 2nd place. Let's see how they stack up. Kenneth Peck is in 3rd place. Justin Smith, 4th place. Tommy Osborne, 5th place. Tyrone Yo, 6th place. Curtis SUV Sovereign in 7th place. Slim James Bowden, I think that's how his name said, is in 8th place. Brian Wasserman is in 8th. Whoa, Wasserman is moving up the pack. Brandon Barrier is in 10th place. And Jim Hubble is in 11th place. The lights are out this time around. The lights are out on the pace car, so they're side by side coming around. James Nelson has the control of this lap. This has been a very interesting race. We've seen Brian Wasserman crash. Let's take a look at that crash real quick and see what happened. Oh, Brian Wasserman went to the inside of the field. All right, as they come out of turn 3, the pace car is going to be dropping off, coming into 4. Let's listen to it as they come into the Geico restart zone. There's the green flag. Nelson has the start. You watch. Wasserman is shooting up the middle on the inside. He is passing cars left and right. He gets himself all the way back up to 6th place. It looks like Wasserman's on the move quicker than he let everybody believe, that he was in trouble and he had to hold up for just a second. But now he's back up to 6th place as he moved around Justin Smith with ease. We're watching as Smith falls in line, taking over 7th place. Brian Wasserman is falling back 5 spots to 6th place. Larry Stubblefield has taken over the lead from James Nelson. Kenneth Pack is in 3rd place. Tommy Osborne's in 4th place. Curtis SUV Sovereign in 5th place. Brian Wasserman in 6th place. Ooh, I got that too loud, folks. I gotta drop the volume just a little bit in my headset. I gotta. We're watching as Kenneth Pack moves up the field trying to catch James Nelson. Justin Smith is moving to the inside of Curtis SUV Sovereign. He's got Slim right behind him pushing. Curtis just fishtailed a little bit coming out of the corner. They're diving to the inside of the infield. As they move up the track, Brandon Barrier is trying to get as much speed as possible to catch up to the leaders. Tyrone Yo is doing his best to stay with the lead pack and not be down anymore. All vehicles are on the lead lap right now. We're on lap 80. Watching this race as all the drivers come through the field. The excitement is in the 6th and 7th place as the battle for positions is being fought for the 6th and 7th place. Slim just moved around Justin Smith to take over 7th place. The battle for 5th is between Wasserman, Curtis SUV Sovereign, and Slim. Now it's a battle for 4th place between Brian Wasserman and Tommy Osborne. Tommy Osborne is still holding Wasserman off. But Wasserman is moving like he's on a mission to try and catch Tommy Osborne. Osborne is right behind Kenneth Pack. Curtis SUV Sovereign is trying his best to catch back up to Justin Smith, who moved around him like he was sitting still. Kenneth Pack is on his way trying to catch up to James Nelson and get that second place back. And he's hoping that James Nelson keeps Larry Stubblefield in line and slowed down. Everybody is trying their best to catch Larry Stubblefield, who is trying his best to run away from the field. Brian Wasserman is catching Tommy Osborne 2 car lengths back. We just saw Curtis SUV Sovereign shoot to the inside coming out of 4. It looked like he might have hit that outside wall just a little bit. Kenneth Pack is catching James Nelson. He has pushed Nelson up closer to Larry Stubblefield. Larry is now 1 car length ahead with James Nelson. Let's go to the driver's cam and take a look inside the cockpit and see what we see, or see what James Nelson and Kenneth Pack are seeing. From inside the cockpit, we're looking at James Nelson now. You can hear the vehicle struggle on that concrete. In the rear view mirror is nothing but the front end of Kenneth Pack's Camaro as it fills up the entire rear view mirror and side view mirror. Larry Stubblefield has a pretty open view going down the back stretch, but in his rear view mirror is James Nelson as James goes to the inside of Stubblefield. James is being pushed by Kenneth Pack. Kenneth Pack is using the middle, and he is sitting there watching. He shoots between 1 and 2, letting Nelson and Stubblefield battle it out for that first place. He's just waiting for the open. You saw a little bit of sparks as Nelson stayed on the inside, but Stubblefield was on the outside. Tommy Osborne is right up on top of Kenneth Pack, and he has Brian Wasserman right behind him. The rear view mirror is full. The front view mirror is full of nothing but bumpers and front ends. Brian Wasserman is all over the back end of Tommy Osborne. He shoots around to the outside of Tommy Osborne. Tommy Osborne has nothing but Brian Wasserman to the outside. Wasserman slowed down just enough to let Osborne slide back up in front of him. This is where all the excitement is right now in the front of the pack. We're looking at the excitement. Nelson's being pushed to the front. On the inside, he moves to the inside, coming out of 3 and 4. Let's see, crossing the start-finish line. It is Nelson who is leading Larry Stubblefield going into turn 1. Now it is James Nelson and Larry Stubblefield side by side going into 1 and 2. Coming out of 2, who will it be? Stubblefield in the backstretch is leading this race. Barely. Stubblefield loses the lead to Nelson by a fender. Crossing the start-finish line, it was Stubblefield in the lead. This battle is between Larry Stubblefield and James Nelson. Brian Wasserman says, "Hello, gentlemen. I am here." He has come from 5th place to 3rd place. Actually, he came from 5th place, bypassed Kenneth Pack and Tommy Osborne to take over 3rd place. Kenneth Pack said, "Y'all gentlemen can have it. You gonna wreck? I will be ready for that wreck." Brian Wasserman is staying right on the outside. James Nelson jumps up right between Wasserman and Stubblefield, barely able to squeeze in there. Holy smokes, Larry Stubblefield was able to maintain. Now he's walking away and has the lead. The battle for second place is between Nelson and Wasserman. They are side by side. Kenneth Pack is trying to get his front end in there and be able to take over as well. Wasserman is able to move past Nelson, but Nelson stays to the inside, pushing Wasserman to the outside. Kenneth Pack, Tommy Osborne are lined up right behind James Nelson. Wasserman was able to outmaneuver all three of them and get to the outside. Now he shoots to the middle, staying on the middle. Looks like Nelson is slowly losing tire wear or something with 47 laps to go. At lap 35 to go, we will probably see another pit stall. Between 35 and 30, we will probably see the leaders start pitting as the wear and tear on their cars starts showing, unless a caution comes out. But with 46 laps left to go of 140, we're watching as the battle for first and second is being fought. We'll watch Kenneth Pack's lap times. This race is coming down to Brian Wasserman and Kenneth Pack fighting it out for second place. Kenneth was able to get around James Nelson and push him back to fourth place. Tommy Osborne is right behind James Nelson, trying to get around him so he can become fourth place. It is side-by-side action. Kenneth Pack has third place. He is trying to catch up to Brian Wasserman as they come across the start-finish line. Larry Stubblefield is putting distance between himself and Brian Wasserman. Wasserman and Kenneth Pack are fighting it out for second place. Kenneth Pack is staying right behind Wasserman, using him as a pull rope to come around the track. Tommy Osborne has moved to the inside of James Nelson and is now in fourth place. James Nelson is moving backwards down the track, but the second, third, fourth, and fifth place are still right behind each other. Larry Stubblefield, however, is just walking away. Then we have Justin Smith, Slim, Curtis SUV Sovereign, Jim Hubble, Brendan Barrier, and Tyrone Yo. Ben Campbell has been removed from the race due to internet connections. As we're sitting here looking, the pit stop strategies so far for this race has been the average of 35 laps on a set of tires. Currently, we're at 29 laps on this current set of tires. So the laps are coming up when the pit stop strategy should be coming into effect. Tommy Osborne is moved up into fourth place. Brian Wasserman has been passed by Kenneth Pack and pushed to third place. Tommy Osborne is right there, right behind Brian Wasserman. and letting him know, hey, dude, I'm here. I am trying to. He is pushing Brian Wasserman to the outside as they come through the backstretch. Tommy Osborne's able to move around, and on the inside, he pushes Brian Wasserman, who was moving with a purpose a minute ago. Brian Wasserman has probably overdrove his tires, and now the wear and tear is what is making him move backwards back down the field. James Nelson is also trying to catch up to Brian Wasserman as well. I had it showing. You see, Kenneth Pack is trying to catch up with 37 laps to go to Larry Stubblefield. Larry has a 0.77 second lead on Kenneth Pack as we watch this race. Brian Wasserman is slowly losing ground. James Nelson is losing ground as well. "36 laps left to go in the race. Larry Stubblefield is just walking away with it. Stubblefield is going to the pits. He takes with him Kenneth Pack, Brian Wasserman, James Nelson, and Jim Hubble are all entering the pits. Tommy Osborne is moving around the track. He thinks he could be able to hold it off and get a lap down, make Larry Stubblefield go a lap down. Let's see from the pits. Who's the first one off of pit road? First one away is Larry Stubblefield. Next one out is Kenneth Pack, followed by Brian Wasserman, James Nelson, Justin Smith, Jim Hubble, who is in the pit. Tommy Osborne is in the pit now. Currently, Slim is the current lap leader. Brandon Barrier is in the pits. How many laps does he have on his set of tires? He has roughly, hold on, 36 laps on this set of tires. Larry Stubblefield is about to catch him and get his lap back. So Slim, James Bowden, I believe is how Bowden is about to get lapped by Larry Stubblefield to get a lap back. And if that's the case, then Larry Stubblefield is in second place with being down on the end of the lap. So James Bowden needs to pit, go ahead, get the pit stop done so that he can be out there and not go a lap down. There he goes into the pits. Here comes Brian Wasserman. Brian Wasserman, James Nelson, and Tommy Osborne are all on the lead lap now. They're trying to get around before Slim comes out of the pits so that they can still maintain their second and third, fourth place positions. Slim is on the pits. He is getting his tires done, but Larry Stubblefield takes the lead as they come across the start-finish line. Brian Wasserman is able to jump back up onto the lead lap. Slim is in 6th place coming out of the pits. So the battle right now is for second place between Brian Wasserman and James Nelson and Tommy Osborne. Jim Hubble passed Slim for position 8. Brandon Barrier is able to get position 7. Kenneth Pack is down a lap. Let's see what caused Kenneth Pack. Oh, Kenneth Pack suffered a penalty. It looks like Kenneth Pack has suffered a pit entry. Let's make sure. Yeah. Let's go back and take a look. See what happened with Kenneth Pack to put him down a lap. Oh! Brandon Barrier went off of the track. Let's see if it costed. He's able to maintain control of it, so he does not inflict and throw a caution, it looks like. Whoo, Brandon was able to maintain control of it and keep from going. He is in the pits right now. Ben Campbell has joined back, but is down so many laps, it's not going to be beneficial for him to get back into the race. However, if he does continue the race, he will maintain points. That is all he is going to be able to maintain, though. So Brandon Barrier is in the pits. James Nelson was able to overtake Brian Wasserman and take over second place. Tommy Osborne is catching up to Brian, and the battle for third is now beginning. Tommy Osborne is right behind Brian Wasserman. 1 car length back. As they go into turn 3, Brian Wasserman's throwing blocks left and right to keep Tommy Osborne away from that third place. 23 laps left to go. Larry Stubblefield is just walking away from everybody else. James Nelson is back a good couple of car lengths back behind behind Stubblefield. Brian Wasserman and Tommy Osborne are trying to battle it out for third place, which is helping Wasserman catch James Nelson. James Nelson is only 2 car lengths ahead of Wasserman. Going into turn 3, Wasserman goes low. Kenneth Peck. This is unusual for Kenneth Peck to be down a lap unless he suffered a major penalty like speeding in the pits, which could have happened. Wasserman is right on the bumper of James Nelson. He's on the underside. As we go into the cockpit view of James Nelson, you see in the rearview mirror, Wasserman is there. He's not in the side view mirror, but he is there in the rearview mirror. Tommy Osborne's got front row seats to this battle between Wasserman and Nelson. We look at Wasserman. Wasserman is all over the rear end of James Nelson. James Nelson in his rear view and side view mirror, all he sees is orange and teal blue or torque, whatever color blue that Tommy Osborne is. That green from the Dos Equis car, though, is all over the rear view mirror. It is a battle for second and third place as Nelson, Wasserman, and Osborne are fighting it out. Larry Stubblefield is nowhere to be seen in the picture. He has just walked away with 17 laps left to go. Wasserman is all over the bumper of Nelson. Tommy Osborne's all over the bumper of Wasserman. I swear I can talk, folks. Wasserman and Osborne are just all over each other on the bumper of the car in front of them. We got Nelson, Wasserman, and Osborne fighting it out for second, third, and fourth. Then Justin Smith is way back there. Right now, whoa, we have a Brandon barrier crash. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Let's back that up just a little bit more so that we can see exactly what happened with Barrier and what took him out of the race for the moment. Going into turns 3, he got a little bit low. Coming out of 4, he goes up, loses control just a little bit, gets on the inside apron, touches the grass as he's slowing down, and it might be that his car is done. We jump back to live performance as we looking. Here they come. Second, third, and fourth place are trying to catch up to lap traffic in front of them. Will this play into their hands? 13 laps left to go. James Nelson is trying to catch that red car in front of him. Trying to see who the red car is. It might be Brandon Barrier or Kenneth Pack that they're about to catch. It would not be Kenneth Pack. It is Brandon Barrier that they are trying to catch. "11 laps left to go. Let's go check in on our leader, Larry Stubblefield and see where he is on the track. Larry Stubblefield has just basically walked away and left these guys sitting in the dust. As we go to the blimp and take a look, Larry Stubblefield is coming out of turn 4 when the rest of the pack is just entering turn 4. Brendan Barrier is right between the leader and second place. Tyrone Yo touched the wall right in front of James Nelson, giving Wasserman the opportunity to run around Nelson like he was sitting still. 9 laps left to go. Yo was a pick, it looked like. Nelson was right behind him. Wasserman went low. Wasserman was able to pin Nelson against the wall with Yo in front of him and make it to where he could go around. Now Tommy Osborne is able to catch up to Nelson. These two are trying. Oh, Osborne just barely got into the back end of Nelson a little bit. Not too bad. He's moving to the inside, going around Nelson. I don't know if Nelson got a little bit of a shove and just was wiggled just a little bit, but now Osborne is in 3rd place. Nelson has dropped down to 4th place. That keeps Yo right behind him. So Larry Stubblefield is just walking away with this race right now. He is in the lead, has no worries whatsoever. 7 laps left to go, 6 laps to go. Wasserman is back behind Larry Stubblefield by 6.48525355 seconds. Wasserman has got no way. It looks like it's going to be a way back second place win for Wasserman if he maintains this speed, because Stubblefield is just leaving everybody behind. The nearest person behind him is 6 seconds back. Tommy Osborne, however, is catching Wasserman and moving around him. He is trying to get that second place win. Osborne goes to the inside, coming out of turn 2, or out of 3, going into 4. Osborne is on the inside. He takes over second place. Nelson has fallen back very far behind. Wasserman is losing momentum. 4 laps left to go, folks. The battle for second place belongs to Tommy Osborne. James Nelson is trying to get back up to the leaders after being picked off by Tyrone Yo and having Wasserman move around him to the inside. Nelson is trying to get that gain back. Wasserman is in 3rd place all by himself as he watches Tommy Osborne walk away from him and just increase the distance. Larry Stubblefield has left the building, folks. We're 3 laps left to go. Larry Stubblefield is 6 seconds ahead of both Wasserman and Osborne. 2 laps left in this race, folks. We have 8 cars on the lead lap. The battle is for 2nd and 3rd place between James Nelson, Brian Wasserman, and Tommy Osborne. And Tommy Osborne just made it to where the battle is for 3rd place between Wasserman and Nelson. We're watching Kenneth Pack as he tries to get ahead and get back up onto the lead lap. He is pushing it. We're on the final laps, folks. This has been a one-man show of Larry Stubblefield for the most part of the night after the midway caution was brought out. Kenneth Pack is trying his best to get around. He was in the lead. The race is over. Larry Stubblefield crossed the start-finish line. Tommy Osborne, second place. Brian Wasserman in third. James Nelson in fourth place. Justin Smith in fifth place. Slim James Bowden is in sixth place. Jim Hubble in seventh place. Curtis SUV Sovereign, 8th place. Tyrone Yo in 9th place. Kenneth Pack in 10th, or Tyrone Yo, 9th place. Kenneth Pack in 10th. And Brandon Barrier is in 11th, with Ben Campbell rounding out the field in 12th place. Ben Campbell had an internet connection and was disconnected. So he was several laps down, unfortunately. Now we'll go back and take a look at some... Oh, we just heard somebody's engine explode. Let's take a look and see who's off track. Oh! James Nelson just head on into Brandon Barrier. No wonder Brandon Barrier was going the wrong way. Next we have... What is this? Oh, this is the end of the race shenanigans. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's race was brought to you by Mudslide Media, associations with Quick Finisher Racing League. The Quick Finishers Racing League is sponsored by Curtis Sovereign, James Nelson, and Jamie Mullins. We would like to thank y'all for coming out to the Southern Star 186 at Nashville Superspeedway. Let's go and talk to some of the drivers and see how they did and what they thought about the race tonight. I gotta get to their channels.
If you want to practice this weekend,
Gentlemen,
whatever time.
I'm coming in to get the feedback of how everybody felt tonight's race was.
Fine.
Well, see, the one who finished first thinks it went wonderful. Everybody else hated it.
Yeah, I'd have been all right if I hadn't got caught speeding on pit road.
Is that what?
Me too.
I was trying to figure out what happened, Kenneth, because it showed that you were coming off of the pit road in fourth place, and then all of a sudden when I looked again,
That's what she said.
you were you were a lap down.
Sorry.
Yeah, I got caught speeding coming off pit road. I had to serve a 40-second hold.
Oh, that just ruined your night there, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did, but I believe I had a top 5 car, maybe top 3. If I hadn't got caught.
You was up there for the longest. Larry, you just walked away from the rest of them.
Larry was just playing with us.
No, they caught up to me and got side by side, and I had to hold them off. I had to stay with them where it was over.
Well, there,
clean air is the thing.
Yeah, there toward the end when James got behind you, it was like after that re-rack and you got the clean air, you just walked away with it. It looked like.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty hard to run this track.
Wasserman, am I saying that right? Brian? He's not
Brian.
in.
See ya.
I think he's
Yeah,
already gone.
I
think
get.
he knew about it.
I guess he's gone. But there for a minute, at the second re-rack, after the mid-course caution, it looked like he had to pull over to the side for a second, and then he just walked through the field. He went from 10th to 3rd, like y'all were standing still.
Yeah, his reason for that's kind of funny.
What was his reason?
He had to get up, turn all his fans on.
It was hot.
Oh, okay.
I'd have sweated it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that is not a reason I would have got up.
James, you seem to James Nelson. It seemed like you had a pretty good run there for a while.
I mean, I think I had a decent finish. I still got a top 5 out of it.
What I mean is, you got a good You got off the pit road first, ahead of Larry and them, and you was able to maintain first there for about 4 or 5 laps. It looked like.
Yeah, they had 3 or 4 lap fresher tires. I took the opportunity to come in before the mid-race break there and just kind of, I was supposed to take it easy when we went green until the mid-race break, and I forgot, and I started racing.
You forgot that one little detail, huh?
You know, that flag drops and just gotta go.
Yeah.
Not to stand on it.
Now,
So, but it worked out okay. I think I did all right.
Tommy, it sounded like in one of the restarts that you had a misshift, and that's why you lost so many positions at the start of the race.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
That's exactly what happened.
Because it from the sound of it, when you crossed the start finish, it sounded like you weren't revved up enough, or like you just missed the shift.
Messed up. The start was kind of messed up, and I just mistimed everything. Pretty much.
Yeah, the restart zone is a blue banner on the wall, but also right before the restart zone at a 4, there's a blue banner on the wall. So
Yeah.
I fucked up by just standing on the throttle, and I got out of it. And
Hell, when you
luckily we
noticed
didn't
that,
pack it all up.
hell, when you noticed that, I was like, oh hell, I got to get slowed down, or I'm gonna get black flagged.
James
I
Bowden.
would have got a black flag right there.
James Bowden was putting out pretty good there.
Oh, I was trying to stay out the way.
It's
pretty good.
I got into Justin caused that caution. That's who caused the caution was me.
Ah. Well, now there toward the end, Tommy gave Nelson a little bit of help to move to 3rd place. It looked like, because Tommy needed to get around James Nelson, and he gave him a little nudge, or letting him know that he was right there. So
Negative.
no.
That's Fox Sports 1.
Okay.
Building up a story.
Well,
No, it was. You know, we got close, but we did not touch.
oh yeah, okay. It from the angle I seen, I could be, but from the angle that was being broadcasted on, it looked like y'all touched just a little bit, and I wasn't sure if y'all did or not.
I asked
So-
him, I was like, did I get into you? He said no, because I didn't nothing come up. It was close.
Before I go,
Running.
before we go further, Kenneth, your brother's saying hello and go Pack. So,
Sometimes I don't know if he's watching or not. Sometimes he watches later.
yeah, he's watching right now, so he's letting you.
And he was probably wondering what happened to me.
Yeah. The rest of us was wondering that one too, so. But so I don't want to cause any drama between Nelson and Osborne, but I was watching, and it did look like y'all got into each other a little bit, but it looked more like it was one of those slight drifts up and whatnot. So
Yeah, we didn't touch.
Just like a real
I don't know how
broadcaster.
we
He's trying
didn't,
to
but we
start
didn't.
shit.
Now,
I should have said, because I don't like him. That's why.
Yeah, you
Now-
sell some T-shirts.
now there, when Wasserman passed you, James, it looked like he used Tyrone to his better advantage and just pinned you against the wall as Tyrone touched that outside wall to be able to take and pass both Tommy and James to go from fifth to what, second, it looked like. So Tyrone kind of got used as a pick on that one. That would have been about lap 120 something, I think it was. Hello? Nobody's going to talk to me now?
Am I the only one here?
No, I see other people in here, but nobody's talking.
I had a good race. I almost ran out of gas right in there.
Yeah.
I did run out of gas right at the start.
Now, coming out of the turn 4, I think it was you that brought out the one big caution, Justin. Because
It was me.
oh well, it looked like
him.
okay.
He was. I was on his outside and he came up.
Yeah. Okay. I seen it. It looked like I couldn't remember which car got below who, but as they were coming out of 4, somebody drifted up and got turned into the outer wall, and that was the one that brought out the big caution. It seemed, right?
Well, the only call.
No, there was another caution thrown. I couldn't figure out why
Well,
that
was-
caution.
That was stage work.
Okay, so this.
But I somehow didn't get enough fuel at the end there apparently, and I just ran out right before the start finish line.
Are you using the auto fueler?
No. Well, I mean, I made sure it was kind of full of fuel, but it apparently didn't get enough. I was like 0.1 short. I
Okay.
saved enough, but yeah.
Oh.
I just had enough fuel. So,
Well,
or I would have not had top 5, so go to suck again. But that's what happens. We raced here. The other league. So.
I don't know what's going on with your mic, Justin, but it's cutting in and out a little bit as you're talking to us. So
I don't, probably just Justin.
all right. Well, I hope y'all gentlemen are ready for next week and looking forward to it. I got yeah. It's an all-star race at North Wilkesboro next week.
Oh God.
Oh, Lord.
So
That'll be interesting.
yeah. Now, from what I understand, there will be a little bit of a paint competition. You have to paint your own cars and do it with pride, as in not pride as in the June Pride Month, but do it with pride of what you're driving, the car you're doing and stuff. If you've done military service, something of that sort, or something that you take pride in doing and enjoy doing, whether it be fishing, whether it be the military or farming, whatever. So, but something that you enjoy doing. So that's what I understand. But the rules will be put out a little bit more. And then each car, all the drivers, I believe, will be voting on who they think had the best looking car out there. So, and we may open it up to a fan vote to see who the fans pick has the best looking car out there as well. So, but I'll let you gentlemen get back to having fun. Hopefully y'all had a good night. Anything y'all want to say to the rest of the fans before I sign off for yous?
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Good race.
Thank you.
Not a problem. So, well, I'll end conversations with y'all and go back up to the booth. All right, folks, as we close it out, this ends tonight's race of the Southern, what I call this race? The Southern Star 186. I can't even remember what I called the race at times. Sorry about that. I forget. I'm very forgetful. But, yeah. Anyways, hopefully y'all had a good time, enjoyed the race and everything. Look forward to seeing y'all next week at North Wilkesboro for our All-Star race. That race is open to anybody and everybody inside the league to come out, bring out their best looking car. Hopefully we'll see some good paint jobs out there and everybody will have a good fun time. So I'm Mark Mudslide Hollifield signing off for tonight for the Mudslide Media and the QFRL Quick Finisher Racing League. Hopefully y'all have a good, safe weekend. Look forward to seeing y'all next